Hello and welcome. These are horse racing selections for Monday, the 29th of July, day one of the Galway Festival. I am flatcapcallum and I am hoping you are all very, very well. Alright, I'm here. I'm having a break from the break. So for those regular followers, I appreciate not everyone will know who I am, but regular followers will know I've been on a sabbatical. Taking 6 months away from YouTube, focusing on family and fitness. Definitely doing one of those, not the other. Hasten to add, my family are all good, thank you very much. But taking a break, but I couldn't resist this week. This has been a bit of a special week for the channel in the couple of years we've been running. So we did particularly well week one of the year one 2022, and then we still made a reasonable enough profit last year as well if you just focused on the Galway Goodwood bets. So it's a risky old week, right? So I personally will be turning over a reasonable amount of cash on this. A lot of people will literally lose their shirt on a week like this because there are big field handicaps across the piece at Galway and Goodwood. So Galway 5 days, Monday through to Sunday, and it's mixed discipline. So some jumps, some flat. Goodwood, just the flat. Glorious Goodwood, 5 days of that. You basically combine those two meetings together, and what you've got is a really good opportunity to try and string some big prices together into some multiple bets, which, as most people who have been following this channel know, that's kind of like my gig. So I've come back for the week. So the plan is I'll be here full week. My aim is probably that the videos are going to be out late the night before. It might be that they're in the morning, and I'll try and kind of keep you all updated in the comments. But the plan is to put out a bet, as long as I can find something I'm happy with, a bet each day for 7 days. So today, this video is for Monday. We've just got one bet. There's 7 horses in a combination double bet between the two handicaps I like at Galway. So we've just got Galway today. Goodwood starts for the Tuesday, so we'll be double bubble on the 2 meetings for 5 days, and then we've got potentially just the last day at Galway. Things to note at Galway, as I said, it's mixed discipline, some jumps, some flat. You all have to keep an eye on the fact that the going on each course could be different, so you can't just presume and lose track of which type of race you're looking at. So at the moment, the predictions for the first day of Galway is that the ground is actually a little bit different on each course. So you've kind of got to factor that into decision making. There's also a few of the kind of 3-year-old only handicaps on Galway on Monday, which I'm not interested in for this video. Certainly, what I will use is a bit of a learnsy to see what's going on. Is there any sort of draw bias early doors for the meeting? Have we got pace bias early doors at the meeting? Predominantly, I will prefer to be on horses that are run at the head of affairs. Some just on the pace, just off the pace. Not really one for wanting to go for closers at Galway, but there will be exceptions always. And draw bias tends to vary, and the key thing is it can change from day to day. So you just got to keep your eye on it, and sometimes it's not always going with convention. So that's a little bit about that. Just channel wise, the plan is still that I'm due to come back in September in some fashion. That is still currently my plan. So I met up with Stephen King Statman a few weeks ago, and we went and had a nice evening at Epsom Racecourse. I think he did better than me overall, so well done, Stephen. But as most of you will know, he's been helping me behind the scenes, doing the Fantasy Tips to League stuff, and compiling loads of stats for that. So we were kind of just talking about what we may or may not do if we come back in September. So there's a little bit of that going on. But yeah, the focus is Galway Goodwood this week, and then I shall go back off my merry way for the end of the week, win, lose or draw. And then plan to be back in September with not planning to be in between. I am still currently working for, I think last time I was on, talked about a star system. So I'm still refining and tweaking that. I've been sending a few followers of the channel who've been emailing me and whatnot. I've been sending them some bets. Did have a really exciting moment the other day. First time in 50 days of the star system, I had a 5-star horse. I sent it to a bunch of people. It was last at 50 to 40 to 1. Never sighted really. So just because it's a 5-star horse doesn't mean they're always going to win, clearly. But yeah, coming tailed off last was not ideal when you're thinking, oh, I'm going to send this to a few people. So Star System, generally speaking, Star System's been going well, but I'm refining it every week at the moment. So as to whether when I come back in September, whether I'll be using it or not, I'll let you know then. I won't be using a Star System this week for the Galway Goodwed stuff. Before I get to the bet, I mean, I know I will already get feedback for rambling on. That's just part of the gig, innit? But I like to be upfront with stats and stuff like that. So this year I did vids January, February, March, done a couple in between, and it was a horrendous start to the year. Really, really terrible. So profit and loss for the channel was minus 422 when at the end of the last video I've done, so minus 422. The context is in 2022 we had a great first year. We were recording the stats in a slightly different way, which would have been favourable to the channel, but 2000, what was it? It was about 2,200, something like that. I think you'd be able to, all the stuff's in the description, have a look in there. And then last year was about 830 profit. So the 400 loss that we're on at the moment for 2024 is about half of what we made in 2023. So we're not, the channel's still in a really, really healthy profit overall. I think when I last looked at it, I think we're on 2,600 profit since the channel started. I advise usually on average it's a £20 an average day stake. That won't necessarily apply this week to Galway Goodwood. £10 is what I'm putting down in the name of the channel for Monday. The rest of the week will probably be somewhere between around more like the £30 mark. There might even be double stake day possibly. So it will vary, but on an average kind of week, if I was doing videos every day, £20 is about the average stake, and that's because so I physically put that money down in the name of the channel where I can, and doesn't necessarily reflect what I personally might do with my wagering in terms of like physical amounts and things. But it's done so it's easily but recordable. People can follow along. It makes the profit loss nice and clear, and it's more accessible. The purpose of me doing these videos and setting up the channel originally was show people a different way of betting, and it's not all about picking one or two horses a day and not always about short prices. You can find big prices every day. Big prices get placed, and almost every day will win a race somewhere. So it's about trying to work out what those ones are and where you're best at, and over a long period of time make a profit. We lose on more days than we win on this channel. That is a fact. That's the fact for most people, but not most people necessarily tell you that. But absolutely, I will lose on more days than I win. It's about trying to find those little connections on any given day. And 2 years ago, Galway Goodwood, it was excellent because it was on the channel, but it was my best Galway Goodwood ever. So yeah, it was excellent. I think what the stats were. I'll give you the Galway stats and then Goodwood stats. Maybe that tomorrow's video. But in 2022. We had 62 selections across 7 days at Galway, 27 of them framed, 4 of those 27 won. So the strike rate was 44%. But from an odds point of view, we're not talking about 4 or 5 to 1 shots necessarily. We are talking double figures most of the time. So we had winners at 16s, 20s, and 9s and 17 to 2. They were the 4 winners across that. Interestingly, day one, we only had 3 placed out of 9, 33%. But to be fair, if you have them all in one bet, then you'd still come out with a profit. And then last year for Galway, we had 70 selections, 26 of them framed. That's 37% strike rate. And we had a couple of winners in there as well. What have we got here? Big price. It was a 25 to 1, I think, and 11 to 2. It was a short one by my standards. On day one last year, we hit 4 framing out of 9, 44% strike rate. Interesting, the stats from last year had a much better, more favourable statistical approach to handicaps that were flat. So flat handicaps at Galway last year, we had 15 out of 35 frame, 43%. For handicaps over jumps, 8 out of 29, 27%. So the flat handicaps served us much better. And then the non-handicap jumps bets. There was 4 of those and 3 of them framed. So overall it was good last year. It was nowhere near it was the year before. So there's a little bit of rundown of the stats. I'll do the Goodwood ones tomorrow. Right, but on 10 mins, come on, here we go. Here's the bets. This is what I'm going with. Bear in mind, if you're new to me, new to this channel, the way that it works on here in terms of recording stats, nice and transparent. It's not about trying to, show how good somebody is or whatever it is. They put these out there in order for what is achievable. Okay, so I will only take place terms if at least 3 major bookies are paying it. So I'm not going to say a standout bookmaker. Often it's the case. It's Sky Bet. Historically, when I started the channel, I used a Sky Bet account specifically that I got for the channel, and then when that got closed down, I started again, and then in the end, based on kind of my own thoughts and feedback, changed it up a little bit to make it more accessible for everybody. So need 3 bookmakers. So tomorrow, the 5.25, most bookies are 5. In the 7.10, Paddy and Sky are both 6 places. So if you're getting bog in the morning, best price guaranteed. Paddy's the best bookmaker. Sky would be second best. The others are much of a much. Just watch out for any bookmakers only paying standard terms 4 places, because that would be something you would probably not. It's not going to be terrible, but personally, there's so many bookmakers paying 5 places on both. You should be able to find one. So that is the advice. The prices. This is basically at least 3 major bookies are offering that price right now at the time of making this video. I'm not taking best price guaranteed because I can't, because I'm putting these out the night before. These are the prices I've got, minus any Rule 4 deductions. So again, it's important to watch out for that. You'll see a lot of people doing profit and loss. They won't record things like Rule 4. So if there's any Rule 4 deductions, they'll apply to that. But that's the odds I'm taking for the channel. If they're bigger tomorrow and they win or whatever, well done to you for doing that. You could wait in the morning and put these on. I don't think that most of them are going to be dramatically different tomorrow, to be honest. But I'm happy and comfortable with putting this bet out now at those prices. So that's how I've calculated it. So 5.25 at Galway. Action Motion 50. So I've got a biggie in there, but definitely got enough form to say that horse has got the capability to place. You usually find in that 5.25, it tends to be a younger horse's type of race, but that's in terms of more from a win perspective. From a framing perspective, looking at top 5, that horse has got the capability of getting in the top 5 on the right day. Let's see. But we've also got in there Aussie Warrior at 12s, Vicio at 10s, and ahead of the Posse at 16s. That goes on to the 7.10. We've got a short one in there, but I was happy with it. Lot of Joy, 5-1. Then we've got Dubai Leader. Interesting. So it ran decent last time. The big question mark for that one is it going to get on the soft going? So if it dries out a bit, that'll be definitely preferable by the time we get to 7:10 on Monday. But yeah, it ran a decent race last year, and there was last time at Leopardstown. There's an interesting form line. Interesting coincidence line, whatever you want to say. So Kinsella, who the family who own the horse, this is the second time, as far as I can see, they've got a horse off the Johnstons, so they've got it over from England. And the last time that happened in 2021, I think the horse was called Kazina. Just again, if you're not familiar, I don't write myself notes here; it just falls out of my head. Kazina. So if I get stuff wrong, excuse me. It's not 100% accurate all the time in terms of remembering, but yeah, I think it was called Kazina. And first time out, it didn't do anything. Second time out, it won a handicap at the Curragh at 66-1 for a relatively unknown amateur jockey. And today, or Monday, whenever you're watching this, Dubai Leader, this is the next horse, because he basically picks up quite a few horses from decent yards over in England. But this is the second time, this is the first time since then, since 2021, he's got a horse from the Johnstons. And lo and behold, it's in a race. And that same jockey that won at 66-1 3 years ago, and that's the only time she's actually won under rules, she is back on. She hardly gets any rides, but she's on this horse. So there is previous of second time out from getting a horse from the Johnstons at a massive price in a flat handicap for this jockey that most people won't have come across. Interesting formula, right? So definitely not had no hope. But I'm more concerned about the ground than anything, like I said. And then we're going to have Metier at 14. So Harry Fry sending one over. I mean, if it's Punchestown, Harry Fry's really one to watch and sending horse over to Ireland, but he's not sending it over for a holiday. He's obviously going to give it a go, and it's got a really decent jockey booking on that one. So we've got 12 times 25p each way doubles. You put them all in the better slip, and it comes up with 12 possible double combinations. So 25p each way doubles, there's 12 of them. So that bit comes to £6. There is two 50p each way singles on Action, Motion and Dubai Leader, the 50 to 1 shots. So that's two 50p each ways. And then four 50p win singles. So that's win singles. Aussie Warrior, Vicio, Ahead of the Posse, Metier. No single on Lot of Joy. £10, as I said, Paddy best, Sky next best. All right. That's my offering for day one. We will see. We'll see where we get to. We're starting the week with minus 422 for the 2024 kitty. As I said, the History Channel is in a decent place. But yeah, if you like what I do, brilliant. If you don't, there are plenty of other folk out there who do different things like out there. All I'm going to say to you is I will try my best to find you the horses, and we'll try and have a little bit of fun on the way, a little bit of banter in the comments. And yeah, feel free to comment if you want to. Keep it respectful. That's all I ask. And yeah, that's me. All right. I'll see you again for the next one, which will be Galway Day 2, Goodwood Day 3. No, Galway Day 2, Goodwood Day 1. This is this every year. This gets me right. Get it right around. Yeah, the second day of this video. All right. Okay, thanks very much. Have a good one. See ya. Bye-bye.